What's up, guys? We're live. It is Monday. It's a great Monday today. The sun came out. It was overcast all morning, but I think it's going to be fine. Playing basketball later, so we definitely want it not to rain because it's an outdoor court. But so far, so good. Today's a beautiful day here in Medellin, Colombia. I really like today's topic. But let me sit up here and just double check the sound, make sure everything's good on the live feed. Let's go to the Facebook real quick and check it. Yeah, let's check. Wonder what the sound is like on YouTube
Really
as well.
like today's topic.
Looks like we're fine. Let me just double check here. My sound. There we go. That's weird. It was because my headphones weren't plugged in. But let me sit up here and just double check this. Okay, we're good there. The sound. Yeah, so we're live. It's another daily live life hacks with Andrew. I'm doing these every single day for the next 2 years. And it's something that I really like to do myself because, for one, I like public speaking. I've always liked public speaking, even when I was starting in the multi-level marketing industry. You kind of, if you're in multi-level marketing and you gain any level of success, you have to learn how to public speak because of the fact that you have to recruit people. And if you're any good at the business, they're going to ask you to speak at events and stuff. And fortunately, I'm pretty good at sales, or I became pretty good at sales. You're not born with this. I don't think. I think most people, it's an acquired or a learned trait in business. So I like public speaking, and I also like new challenges and new projects. And this is definitely a new project, and it's a new challenge. Every single year, I challenge myself to something, whether it's doing 100 push-ups every single day in the morning for 100 days, or whether it's going vegan, which that's been something that I've done. That's just a lifestyle change. But today we're talking about forming good habits. What's up to everybody that's said hello so far? Daniel, Johnny, how you guys doing? Hope you guys are having an amazing day. It's a beautiful day here in Medellin, Colombia today. The sun came out finally, and it looks like the rain will subside for a while. Although I like the rain when it's time to go to sleep. It's pretty good as like background noise, right? So let's talk about forming new habits. Let me start recording here. So welcome to another episode of Life Hacks with Andrew. This is a live stream, and it's also going to be a recorded version that's edited and uploaded to the YouTube channel and the Facebook channel. Today we're talking about forming good habits. Later on, I'm going to be playing video games, but I'm going to go play basketball first, so that's going to be a whole other section of just gaming. But I like talking about these topics, and I like to do it live because it puts pressure on me to deliver the content pretty seamlessly and also timely. I don't want to talk about this for hours because people get bored. But I think forming good habits for me has really changed my life, not only because you set goals and you reach them, etc., but because they've become a lifestyle. That's the biggest difference that I've noticed between successful people and people that are not successful, is that when they have a goal in mind, it becomes a lifestyle. It doesn't become just an object or a goal or a finish line. It becomes something that they repetitively do. They repeat it even after they reach the goal. They keep continuing with that same behavior. So that's what I have noticed has been the difference between being a success, in in business, and not only in business, but in all aspects of life, really, which is my, hey, Alexis, how you doing? Which has been my goal. My goal coming out of jail in 2004, 2005. It was like the end of 2004. My goal, coming out of jail, I didn't really have a goal. My goal was not to come back into jail. So I had to look at all the habits that I had that got me into jail and change those and also create good habits. And it's only taken me about 18 years to become what I would consider myself as a success. But it's taken a long time to develop these good habits and trying to learn how to learn good behavior, to put it in I guess short terms, right? So let's talk about forming good habits. So one of my favorite quotes by Aristotle is, "We are what we repeatedly do," right? What we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. And this is exactly what I was talking about when you're talking about successful people. Successful people don't just have goals. They change their lifestyle for that goal. And then once they reach a certain goal, they continue with that habit. They continue with that lifestyle to reach more goals. And that's what I've learned to do throughout the years. Let me go to the next slide here. So, like I said, when I was, when I got out of jail in 2005, 2005, I had to realize what were my bad habits. And I continuously do. Yes, I was in jail for 2 years, and it really changed my life. Once I got out of jail, and when I was in jail, the great thing about jail is that there are rehabilitation programs within jail. And some of them are like AA meetings, NA meetings. And those are really important because they teach you fundamentals about reflecting on your past and reflecting on your current behaviors as well. So what I had to realize was, what were my bad habits? What are my bad behaviors, and how can I change that? And what made those bad behaviors so attractive to me, and what made good behaviors unattractive to me, and how I can flip the roles. It only took me 18 years, but now I own a 7-digit digital marketing agency. I have multiple employees, multiple clients. I have invested in real estate. I've invested in different projects as well. And pretty much everything that I set my mind to, I accomplish. But it's because I was able to change my habits and my behaviors. So the first thing I had to do was I had to realize, okay, what are bad habits, right? And I had the bad habit of procrastinating. And I think a lot of people can resonate with that because everybody has, everybody will put stuff off, right? Especially if it's something difficult to do or something unattractive, something that we're not going to get immediate gratification towards. We're going to put it off. So for me, procrastination was one of them because I was lazy and I just wanted to do the easy things. That's why I sold drugs and got into jail because I wanted easy money. And also I liked the instant gratification of getting high on my own supply on top of that. Another bad habit that I had that you could probably relate to is, and this is not only what got me to jail, but after, getting out of jail and trying to start a business as a young entrepreneur when I was 25, 26, 27, one of the things that I had a hard time was managing time. I didn't know, I was really bad at managing my own time. I would miss deadlines. I would miss business opportunities because of my mismanagement of time. Another thing that I really had a hard time with was trying to multitask as a young entrepreneur, as someone that wanted to build a business, is that sometimes you want to wear all the hats and you want to be in control, right? And that's really hard to do. Another thing that I had a hard time with was stretching myself too thin, right? like over promising to potential clients and then gaining that client and then not being able to fulfill the work, not being able to fulfill the promise, and then losing it. So turning over clients was very quick and it was constant, and it was something that I had to fix about myself and in business, right? A lot of people that I've seen as well have the problem of analysis paralysis. They like to overanalyze, and they overanalyze so much that they don't take action. So that may be you as well. I mean, everybody has their own bad habits. So let's go. So before I get started, I wanted to tell you that I've been working on changing my habits ever since I got out of jail, and while I was in jail, and ever since, right? And it's not an easy thing to do, to change bad habits or to gain good habits that you really don't want to do or that you're just not accustomed to doing, that are uncomfortable. These are all the ones that I just went over. Analysis. So forming good habits. There's a book that I've read that is an amazing book about forming good habits, and it pretty much summarizes almost everything that I've learned from mentors and other gurus out there and books that I've read. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's an amazing book, and I've kind of taken what I've learned from that book and what he transmits, his message there, and kind of put a twist on it, my own twist, right? So the first thing that you have to understand about habits or goals that he talks about, that James Clear talks about in his book, and what I've learned as well, is that setting goals is a good thing, right? Everybody should be setting goals, especially like the new year comes, you want to get fitter, you want to travel more, you want to read more, you want to sleep more, you want to, everybody wants to change their habits, and they have goals. And goals are good, but they're not good enough. Systems are better, right? Getting in the habit of creating systems around your goal is better than just focusing on a goal. And I'm going to get to that. Because if you just have a goal, it's not going to be life-changing enough, right? It's not going to be something that you're going to continue doing if you just set a goal. For example, when you set a goal, it's like in a sport, right? You want to reach a certain level, right? Or you want to reach a certain amount of winning. Let's say you just want to win the game, right? Well, if you just focus on winning the game only, you'll come to the next game tomorrow against a different opponent, and you may not win that game because you were focusing on winning this other game, this first game. But if you set a system in place where you focus on the fundamentals of the game, of being great at the fundamentals of the game, and not just focusing on one opponent, but focusing on yourself and your team in preparing for every obstacle to come, then you have the chance of winning multiple games and reaching multiple goals. So I don't want to just win by reaching my goal, but I want to continue playing the game of life, of business, right? I don't want to just win a game. I don't want to just get fitter. I want to continue to be fit until I die at 99, right? So a goal could be to have, in business, you could have the goal to have 2 new clients by the end of the month, or to read 1 book. I mean, you may reach that goal, but will you be able to retain those 2 new clients long term? Will you be able to get another 2 clients the next month? Will you be able to continue reading that book, a book a month for the next 12 months? Will you continue to play that game, right, for the long term? So creating good habits doesn't involve just setting goals. It involves creating a system so that habit becomes a part of your life. It becomes your lifestyle, and it becomes your identity. That's what I have found in my life to be the game changer in my success in business, in my success with personal development, in my success with relationship building with friends, etc. and different aspects of my life. So let's go over some of the things that need to be done, right? Like I just said, a goal, setting goals is okay, but, to change habits, you need to make them a lifestyle. And what that means is that you have to start working on your beliefs. And I've had a whole Facebook and YouTube live on working to, change your core beliefs. Or in my case, I always give my own examples. It was literally how I changed my core beliefs. After being in jail for, a couple years and, having bad habits before then, not only just bad habits with drugs and alcohol and women and just living la vida loca type, thing, but also just bad habits in personal development, like negative self-talk, not fulfilling, self-fulfilling negative prophecies, etc. So we got to work on our beliefs. We've got to make it a lifestyle. Before, I would think that in order to be an entrepreneur, right, I had to own a business to be successful. That was my thinking, right? And I think society puts that into our brains, is that like, before you can say that you're an entrepreneur, you should have a business, you should be successful. In order to be a musician, you have to know how to play an instrument and write music. In order to be fit, you have to look like a fitness model. We have these made up concepts in our mind in order to achieve certain things, right? Or to be able to say certain things. But that's not the reality. We need to believe that we've already changed. In order to, what I've found in my life is that in order for me to reach a goal and to change my habit, is I have to believe that I've already made it, that I'm already there. Instead of saying, I want to be a healthy person, therefore I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to follow a diet. I have to believe I am a healthy person. Therefore, I can't eat junk food. I don't eat junk food, and I go and I do exercise regularly. If I say to myself that enough, I start to believe it. I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase, fake it till you make it. But it is. It's not that you're lying to yourself. You're literally telling yourself, I'm a healthy person. You may be overweight. You may be a smoker. You may be non-athletic, not someone that doesn't like to go to the gym. But if you start saying to yourself, I'm a healthy person, therefore I can't do these things, and start putting limits on what you can and can't do. I don't do these things and I do these things. Along with action, and we're going to get to that, the first thing we need to work on is our brain and our beliefs. So we need to start believing in ourselves, right? We need to make these habits a part of our identity. So, for example, part of my identity, I'm a healthy person because I'm vegan. Vegan is my lifestyle. Therefore, I don't eat meat. I don't eat stuff that. Not only don't I eat meat, I'm not saying that meat is unhealthy. I just don't eat it for my own core values. But on top of that, since I am vegan and veganism is associated with being healthy and nutritious, right? I don't eat high-fat foods. I don't eat carbs or empty carbs. Whenever someone offers me pizza, I would say 80% of the time I will say no, unless if it's like the only thing to eat. The last time I ate pizza was like 2 weekends ago, and that was the first time I've eaten pizza in well over 6 months or a year almost. But things like that, and it's not because I don't enjoy pizza, but it's because I've conditioned myself to know that has a negative consequence for my body. So it's become a part of my identity to eat healthy, right? Instead of saying I want to make $1 million, therefore I'm going to start a small business and work my way up. You can say my work is worth $1 million, therefore I'm going to work as if I'm getting paid $1 million. See the difference in mindset and in tone there? I'm saying I want to become a millionaire, therefore I'm going to start a small business, or I'm going to start a business and I'm going to work hard and I'm going to work my way to the top. My mindset changed a few years ago from I want to become a millionaire to my work is worth $1 million. Therefore, I'm going to work for my clients as if they were paying me $1 million. And guess what? Now they are, right? Everything changes once you change your mindset. So the first thing we need to do is to make it a lifestyle by changing our beliefs. And that's what I had to do. Coming out of jail, this was all foreign to me. Thank goodness that I came across, and I not only came across, but they helped me believe in myself enough to keep them as mentors. I came across people that became my mentors that believed in me more than I believed in myself. And that allowed me to keep them as mentors, because if I had that same mindset and I didn't have anybody that believed in me at the time, I would have just quit, because for me, quitting was easy. There's nothing easier than saying, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try to find something easier. But they made me stick with my path of entrepreneurship and of personal development. So building habits, right? There are 4 principles that are talked about in the book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I just want to make it clear. His last name is Clear. I want to make it clear, no pun intended, that I'm taking some of his stuff that he's written in his book, and I highly recommend that you read Atomic Habits. At least go look it up and look at the summary on Google. It's got great information for changing your life and changing your habits, even if they're small habits or they're huge things that you want to change in your life. I'll read the comments here in a second. So let's talk about the 4 things that he talks about for building habits. And I'll also talk about how they resonate with me and how I've used them over the years, because I literally read this book like 4 months ago for the first time, because a YouTuber that I follow recommended it. And it's funny because a lot of the things that he says I was already doing, but he just kind of organized it better. So number 1, the first thing that he talks about is to make it obvious. To whatever your habit is that you want to change, you want to make it obvious. Let's say that you want to, I'll get to examples, but making it obvious involves, cueing yourself for the action, or making it a trigger in your brain to do the action. It reminds your brain to get started, right? Number 2 is to make it fun. Number 3 is to make it easy. And number 4 is to make it pleasurable. So let's go back to number 1. Number 1 is to make it obvious, or your trigger, or what James Clear calls it, your cue. And for me, this was always something that I did almost naturally. I'm sure I learned it somewhere, but I don't remember where, coming out of jail and even before jail. It's probably the things that you learn as a kid. But if you want to change a habit, let's say that you want to get in the habit of reading more. You need to make it obvious. You need to put the books out. Don't keep them in the closet. Put the books out, or put the book out that you're reading for the month and put it in front of you, right? Or put it next to a place where you see it, maybe every morning or whenever it is the time that you want to use it, or carry it in your book bag, or carry it in your purse or your briefcase, etc. I mean, who uses a briefcase nowadays anyway? But yeah, make it obvious, right? Visual cues are, for example, I know the addiction world very well, and for a drug addict to avoid relapsing or using again, they have to avoid triggers, things that will make them spring into action of using that drug. So the opposite is true when you want to form good habits. You want to form visual cues to spur or spark that action. So in this case, let's say you want to read more, you put the book out, right? Let's say one of your you want to send 100 emails to potential clients, or reach 100 people on LinkedIn as potential clients for your new business. Instead of just starting to to write, why not make a visual cue, whether it's printed literally on a piece of paper with 100 boxes that you check off, or an Excel spreadsheet where you have each name and you check off, and and you change the color every time that you send the message or the email. Those are visual cues, and that's literally how I started, was with an Excel spreadsheet, and I'd have a list of 1,000 emails that I had, because this was like 11 years ago. And I would go one by one, personalizing the email and sending them a video along with the email, pitching my services as a digital marketing agency, or as a freelancer, I should say. I didn't have an agency back then. I was a freelancer. I could help you create your website. I can make your website better. And these are the 3 things I could do. And I would make a little video just like this. And obviously not everybody would answer, but I wanted to do more, so I'd use visual cues, right? So number 1 is to make it obvious. Number 2 is to make it fun. This one I always remember. So when I first started in a multi-level marketing company, fresh out of jail, this was like 2005. In 2005, I joined a multi-level marketing company where we sold perfume on the street, and you had to sell a bunch of perfume. And once you learned how to sell it, you could teach other people how to sell it, and then you would earn a commission. And if they joined, you would earn commissions for the lifetime of them being in the multi-level marketing company, and it would just continue to grow, right? And if they entered someone into the company and they taught them how to sell the perfume, then you would earn a small commission from that 3rd person, 4th person, and it just goes down the line, just like a multi-level marketing plan or compensation plan. Selling perfume on the street is not fun, right? It's not fun at all. Like if you're just going there by yourself and you're like, shit, now what do I do? So we would make it fun by going in teams of 4. We would have games that we would play. Like, okay, let's try to sell this one with an accent, and try to do like a British accent and sell it to this guy. There was a point where I started seeing one of the girls there, and she would say, we're not having sex if we don't sell 10 bottles of perfume. Now that was fun for me. Guess how many bottles I sold? I would sell 10 before midday. So it was you got to make it fun, right? You've got to either work with people that are fun, that are going to support you and motivate you, or do things that are fun for you. So one of the worst things or the hardest things about starting a business is, doing things alone, right? So it behooves you to be around people that are fun, that are motivating, groups on Facebook, groups online. But really, it's when you meet people that things get even better. So being able to work with someone, or being held accountable for something with someone, and making it a game, or making it a ritual to go have a drink maybe on a Friday night to explain, or to hold yourself accountable, or maybe even coffee in the morning to hold yourself accountable and say, hey, yesterday I made 1,000 calls, or this last week I made 1,000 calls, or I sent 1,000 emails, and these were the ones that replied. There's really good energy when you start working with people and you have fun. For me, life has to be fun. If I'm not having fun, then I find ways to have fun. For example, creating a channel where I get to do what I like and literally transmit it over the internet. And eventually I'm going to be making, $5,000 to $10,000 extra from this channel. So make it fun. So again, number 1 is to make it obvious. If you want to read more, you put the book out. Number 2, make it fun. If you want to read more, don't put it on the fucking bedstand where you're going to fall asleep, or on the couch that you watch Netflix on. Make it a ritual to go somewhere, maybe outside of your house, to read, where you're not going to fall asleep and you're not going to be bored by reading more, right? Even if it's just, your goal is just to read for 15 minutes, right? Make it a ritual of something fun, where you have to maybe walk to the cafe, or set up your chair somewhere else. Maybe light a candle. I don't know. Whatever it is that you need to do to make it fun and satisfying, right? So yeah, you make it obvious. You want to make it fun. Number 3, you want to make it easy. One of the things that I've learned that when I want to change a habit is that a lot of times these habits are hard, right? You don't want to change habits or you don't want to do something new just because it's out of your comfort zone and it's not fun, and it's not easy. So one of the things that I do, one of the things that you want to do is to make it accessible, right? To make it easy to do. And one of the ways, for example, in business, when I was sending 1,000 emails in a week, manually, was because I was an idiot. I'm not educated, right? I didn't go to university to learn how to use Microsoft Word or Excel. I had to learn that on myself. So what I realized when I was sending 1,000 emails, a day to try to get a new client, was that there was this thing called mail merge that you can literally create on Word and Excel and literally merge your emails so that each email has a template, and in each email you can merge it with Excel so that there's a name section and an email section, and it'll automatically autofill. And now you have a personalized email with the name, like dear Jonathan Barnes, whatever. And then the next email is already pre-written for you, and it says, Dear Michael Hayes, right? Or whatever it is. It's already merged onto an automatic. I didn't know all this. I had to learn it myself, how to do a mail merge. And on top of that, I did not know that there were softwares out there like Send Blaster that will not only send 1,000 emails, but will send 10,000 emails in a day. So I had to learn how to use Send Blaster. So that became easy for me and fun at the same time, because it was fun to see all the people replying after I sent 10,000 emails instead of just me manually sending 1,000 emails in a couple days, which was very tiresome and boring. So making it easy by using technology, whatever it is that your new habit is going to be, try to use technology to make it easier. Making it accessible. If you want to read a book again, want to read more, make sure that you always have your book near you. I want to play the guitar more. I got my guitar right here. So making it easy to get or accessible is a huge part of obtaining your goal. And finally, this should be number 4. It says number 3 here. Number 4, make it pleasurable. Obviously, my example of selling perfume and not being able to have sex until we sold 10 perfumes was very pleasurable at the end. But what I mean by making it pleasurable is that you want to have some sort of immediate reward, right? One of the fundamental things about forming habits is that what is immediately rewarded is repeated, and what is immediately punished is avoided, right? You gravitate towards whatever is going to immediately reward you. So one of the things that I do, for example, for the gym, I play basketball, and for me that I love the game, so it's instantly gratifying just playing. Even if I lose, I'm at the age, I'm 41, where I'm just happy to be there. I'm playing with kids that are 20, 25, 30, competitively. And so, like, for example, right now, I'm going to go play pickup basketball. And for me, I'm just happy to be there because of my age. But sometimes I don't like going to the gym, or sometimes I played basketball one day and then tomorrow I'm not playing basketball, but I'm like, oh man, I don't really want to go to the gym. So what I've done is that I love Family Guy, and my thing is that after the workout, even no matter how long the workout is, but as long as I go to the gym, I will at least spend 15 minutes on the treadmill walking, or maybe a light jog, but typically it's walking while watching an episode of Family Guy. And for me, that's so gratifying and so rewarding that I look forward to going to the gym. Even if I don't really want to, or my body says no, I know, okay, well, at the very least, I'll do some sort of weightlifting or whatever, even if it's a small amount. But I know that I'm going to walk for 15, 20 minutes while watching an episode of Family Guy or Seinfeld. I like Seinfeld a lot. And for me, that's very rewarding. It's the dopamine releasing in my brain just thinking about it. So making it pleasurable. That's the last one. So let me go over them. You want to make it obvious. You want to have set triggers for yourself where you see the new habit that you want to form or start. Number 2 is to make it fun, right? You want to make sure that you don't get bored and that it's something that you like to do. If it's reading more, make sure that you have some sort of ritual or something that you do before you start reading. You're in a comfortable space. If instead of reading in your home where you get bored and may want to take a nap on the couch, why not take a walk to a cafe or a drive to a cafe and read for 15 minutes and then go back home and go to work or whatever. Number 3 is to make it easy, not only by being accessible and near you, right, whatever your habit is, but also to make it easy using maybe technology to track your progress, to accelerate your habit forming, right? And then finally is to make it pleasurable. Immediately reward yourself somehow, right? And then finally, you want to stay on track. Part of forming a habit and setting goals is meeting them and staying on track, tracking your like if you're going to the gym and your goal is to lose weight, you weigh yourself. The same thing in business. If your goal is to get new clients, but in order to get a new client, you have to send at least 100 emails to prospective clients or get 100 business cards at the seminar or make 100 phone calls, then you want to track those phone calls and start getting percentages. Like, okay, I actually called 100 people, but I didn't get one client. I got 5 clients. So I can assume that if I get someone else to help me make more calls and we make 200, we could possibly get 10. And then you start growing your small business. You start accelerating with your goals. You start setting new goals and you stay on track, and it becomes a habit. It becomes a lifestyle of the business, of your personal development, whatever it is that you want to change. It becomes a lifestyle. And on top of that, it raises the bar, right? You never want to just set a goal and be like, oh, I met the goal. I ran the marathon. Now I'm just going to slack off and eat junk food all day. And I've ran a marathon. I can check it off my bucket list. That I hate that. For me, that's not constructive, right? If I'm going to prepare to run a marathon, you better believe that I'm going to be able to run more than just one marathon, and I'm going to continue doing it for life. If that's my goal, I'm going to set it as a habit of a lifestyle, right? Also, don't self-sabotage. I was very good at this. This is why I went to jail, and this is why it's taken me 18 years to become successful and to own a successful digital marketing agency, is because I would self-sabotage a lot. And it was part of my lifestyle. It was part of the way I lived. For example, if you want to get in the habit of reading more, and you want to stop taking naps during the day, because that was one of my things. I never liked napping during the day. I thought it was a waste of time, but I had the habit of napping at midday. Then don't put the book next to the couch that you take naps on, because you want to read more. You're going to pick up the book and then you're going to fall asleep, right? Don't self-sabotage. That's just a simple example, but there are many other ways to self-sabotage that you can identify and you can nip it at the bud. If you want to get in the habit of calling more potential clients, don't go work out of a noisy cafe where you'll be like, oh, I can't call people because the espresso machine's going, people are talking on this table. Don't go work out of a noisy cafe if you want to make more phone calls to prospective clients, etc. And finally, we've got consistency, right? So we know that we need to make our habits part of our lifestyle and not just a goal. And part of that includes making it a constant in our life. If you want to do 100 push-ups every morning, but really, really don't feel like it today, I mean, you've been doing it for a couple days, or even the first day, you're like, fuck, man, 100 push-ups in the morning. And this was my conundrum, or my issue was like, okay, I wanted to do 100 in the morning. Sometimes you just don't want to do it. You're just like, fuck this. I'm late. I woke up late. I've got a meeting at 10. It's 9 o'clock. I've got to get in the shower. I got to prepare, etc. Don't just not do it. Don't skip it. Don't get in the habit of skipping because that sucks and you feel terrible after. Just do 10. And in your mind, you're like, okay, I did 10. Throughout the day will get better. Trust me. You'll remember and you'll be like, okay, I only got 90 to go. But at least you did 10 in the morning. So at least do something. Don't just give up. Small habit, because in the long run, the whole idea of forming habits in a systemized way where they become a part of your lifestyle is the idea of compound interest, right? Even if you change just a little bit today, it'll compound into a big change in the future. Small habits compound like interest. One small habit every day is better than a ton of work today to finish a goal tomorrow. And then trying to start all over again the next day with a ton of work. It's better to take steps in order to change your life and your lifestyle so that those habits that are going to be successful or reach a goal in the future continue to be habits and continue to reach even more and more goals, and you can apply them to other goals and other dreams that you have. Focus on your systems or rituals instead of just keeping your eye on the prize. I know that, our society says keep your eye on the prize, but I think that's the wrong way to go. And also, James Clear talks about it in his book, Atomic Habits, about, it's not keeping your eye on the goal. It's keeping your eye on the systems that you're putting in place in order to reach that goal and to continue and set the bar even higher and higher and higher as you track your progress. Make good habits a lifestyle, not a goal. Thank you guys for joining the live. I see a few people have written here. Luke, how you doing, Luke? James Spencer, man, hope everything's good. I think you're still in Southern California. Yeah, long time since HB. I know you've got kids now. Daniel, clear the mind in the morning. Doing meditation, it's a good habit. Yes, meditation is a great habit. And it's one habit that I don't do. I don't meditate enough. I do it sometimes, but it's not a daily habit just because I don't view it as important yet in my life. I guess kind of like I do run and I jog, and that is kind of a form of meditation. But I really want to thank you guys for joining the live stream today. I'm going to be doing a live stream every single day until for 2 years. It's called Life Hacks with Andrew. Today we talked about forming good habits and how I've formed good habits over the course of 18 years after being in jail for a while because of my bad habits. But I could say today that I've formed enough good habits, and those good habits have become part of my lifestyle where I consistently raise the bar and have new projects, new ideas, new investments, new businesses that I always apply my good habits towards, and they've become successful. So I just wanted to share some thoughts with you guys. If you guys have any questions, make sure to comment. This video will live on my Facebook page and also on my YouTube page. So make sure to like, subscribe, follow, share it with your friends if you thought it was informational and someone could, that is struggling right now with forming good habits could maybe use some good tips, right? Thank you guys. I'll see you guys live tomorrow.